Hello, welcome. My name is Manuel from Kata Studio. Today we're going to learn how to properly optimize your logo for the header area in case your client sent you a logo that is not well optimized. And we're talking about size today, not size per memory. We're talking about size per aspect ratio. Okay, I have lessons on aspect ratio in our past lessons in the YouTube channel. You can go check that out or search that in one or two of those playlists and you're going to find them. And we also have a lesson on logo on header. So we have actually dealt with this particular lesson. This should be the second lesson we are dealing with. And the reason why we are dealing with this is because this is a totally different form of logo. So we talked about in the last lesson, we talked about two forms of logo. We have the horizontal logo and we have the vertical logo. The vertical logo could be horizontal, vertical, or square, while the horizontal logo is just the horizontal type of logo. For instance, this is a horizontal logo and this is a vertical logo because this is covering the square space and this is almost 2 times 2, which means whatever size it is, 200 times 200, 2000 times 2000, whatever size the width is the same as the height. And in most cases, a logo can be considered as vertical form of logo if the width is smaller than the height, okay? But it's horizontal if the height is wider than if the height is smaller than the width. So the width is wider than the height. That's a horizontal form of logo. And this is the best practice for the header area. So our client sent us a sample of logo from here, as you can see, and we needed to use this as the logo form for the website. But we are not going to go with the other form or the other formula as we have from here because we can't just have the name popping out from the bottom part here. It doesn't even look nice. It wouldn't look, the name here, it wouldn't look nice. Why we actually use this here is because the name is inside of the logo. Okay, now what we need to do is to pull in the logo to our Photoshop in an empty space like this. Okay, and we remove the background, as you can see, unhide the background and save it as PNG. Once we save it as PNG, we are going to import it here. We want to use it. Now, we can't use this logo in this particular website because the background already is green and you know already that the logo itself is green. It wouldn't work. Okay, the background already is green, so there will be a lot of conflict. But the other case we can do is to select on the background and change the background to white, but we need to alter all of these colors to match with black so the color of the logo can show. So I'm just showing you an instance of that in case you come through cases like that. So you either switch your background color and also work on your content from this area. Or before you even start using a logo, you must have to place the logo so you know the kind of color you're going to use for this area. But for this logo, we need a white background. So let's find a website that have a white background. So for instance, we have this one and we have already imported our logo. So we get in and select on the logo and we allow it in. So you see what happens over here. We have the content clustered and everything scattered because the logo itself is higher than the space we are supposed to allocate to it. So somebody might say, usually this should be full width. Somebody might say, why not reduce the size of the logo? Yes, let's try that. When you reduce the size of the logo is almost invisible. You can't even see anything from there. So we want to optimize this logo to make sure it works in that area, not making things get scattered and also not being invisible at the same time. So what do we do from here? First off, we create a horizontal aspect ratio. Let's just create whatever size and we can select on this is the shape builder to a crop tool, and then we reduce the size to whatever size we want this to be. So we enter. So we go back to the file our client sent us. We denote or pick up the name. The powerhouse is the name, as we can see from here. Let's see if we can select or separate that. Okay, we can separate that. We can delete this one, select on this and move it aside. Then we can select on the house itself, say powerhouse plumbing. Okay, let's adjust this like so. We can reduce the size of the logo a little more. Okay, fine. So let's create a new text from here. We're going to use a normal font like Poppins. So let's select on this. Type Poppins and we search for a bolder font like the one he already used. So let's type now. I think it's okay, it's not capital letter. He used the first capital letter, so power. Then house should be capital letter. So whenever you're writing, making a logo for your client, if there are two words in together, the second one, especially for website logo, the second one should be a capital letter too. So plumbing should be beneath this. So we hold Alt key and extract this and then we write plumbing beneath. Plumbing is going to be capital letter because it's just a subjective word. Plumbing. So we give it a size reduction and we give it a spacing go to our typography. Let's select on that. And from here, properties, we can give it a spacing of about, let's give it a spacing of 400. Let's see that. That's too small. Let's give it a spacing of 800. Let's give it a spacing of 700. I think this still doesn't work. Let's give it a spacing of 1200. I think this works. So fine. We have our sizing from here. So we expand the content to work with what we have and pull it closer to our logo. So from here, we can expand the size of this to match the logo width as we have from here. And we select on this and select on the color. We can pick on the green color. Let's see if that works. It works close. Let's make the color a little bit darker. And we save our work. Perfect. So now we have the first, bring it closer to the work. Select on this. Remember, we have, let's delete this one. We don't need this anymore. So we delete this. So we select on this and we pull it into the space we created from here. So from that space, hit on enter. And from here, we are going to adjust the size of the height and also adjust the size of the width. Now, if you don't do this equally, whatever size space you give to the top side must be the same space you give to the bottom part. Okay? So also the same space you give to the left, but make sure there is no space in the left side so that it won't automatically give itself padding in your website. So if you give it that space, then you can select on the logo itself and adjust it and make sure everything is centered. Then we remove the background. Now, why we don't give any space around is because if you give any space around, it's going to automatically give itself padding and you can't control it anymore. So it's not the size you give to it anymore. It's now going to assume sizes or extra sizes adding to the one you already give to it. So let's save our work as PNG, remember? And you can save it as anything because it's a test work, and we save the file. Okay, so now we're going to try that once again. So select on our logo, go to content, select on the selection area, and we drag in our logo content. So wait for a little while for it to populate or for it to upload. And once it's done, we are good to go. So it's done. As you can see, the memory also is good enough, 140 kilobytes. So your logo shouldn't be above 200 kilobytes. Even 100 kilobytes is okay. Make it 200, 300, it wouldn't make much sense because it adds up to the loading speed of the website. So we select on this and we see what we have. See what we have, very cool. So now we can go into styling and adjust our logo width. So select on advanced, go to custom. We can now adjust the size of our logo to whatever we want. So here we have more control and everything stays in the middle. As you can see, look at the bottom part of the header. It's not like clustering things anyhow. So now we can now adjust the logo itself to match whatever size we want. Something like this is cool. Okay. We can give a padding top and padding bottom if we want to, but if we don't want, we can leave it like so. And everything is cool as I think from here, and we can save our work and check from the front end. So this is basically it, how to optimize your logo from something like this. I can't even see that anymore. Something like what we had before, you understand that, to having it like this, making sure the logo name show. The idea here is to make sure the logo name show and also the logo icon show, not making the both of them invisible. So if, for instance, we select on this and selected on the other one, you understand what's going to happen. So this is the second lesson on this. If you have not watched the first one, go back and watch that lesson. It will help a lot so that you can understand your way around. This is simply how to optimize your logo. Remember to take enough water, hug your loved ones, and we'll meet in the next one. Do have a wonderful day.